Welcome to another tutorial about Flared. In this video I will show you how to use Flared with movie clips. That is a little bit different from using it with 3D scenes. For the movie clips there are some important things to do. The first is I usually work in filmic color, but when I work with movie clip I prefer to work in a standard color, because the filmic color will change the color of your movie clip. So you've got to stay in standard, or if you know what you are doing, you can do whatever you want. So remove your cube, then add a mesh with a plane. You have to choose the aspect ratio of your video. I'm working in 16:9. This is my size, so I'm going to make a scale 1.6 and 0.9. Okay. Then it is in the 0 locations. I'll take the camera. I remove the light. We don't need the light. I'll take the camera. Here is the camera. I put it at 0, 0, 0. No rotation at all, and then I have to press the G button and Z and move it on the space just to match the dimension of your plane. I don't know, maybe there's a better way to do this. This is the way I used to do it. I'm talking about a better way because you'll have to keep away from these errors. And moving it in the space, I'm matching. Okay, this is good. Then I have to select the plane, go to the material tab, add a new material and add a new texture. We'll use an image texture that can be used for the video too. For this tutorial I'm going to use a video that I took from this place, pixabay.com. There are free videos that you can use, free footages. This is the video that I've chosen. It's a taxi, no, it's a car passing through the street by night. It's a slow-mo scene. I don't want to use this first passage. I wait for the man, and then I'll take this one, this car. I'll take this car, and I want to put 2 lens flares on the 2 lights of the car. So things to do are import here our movie clip. Here I have my movie clip that is called Car Night Scene. Okay, it could be important to know how many frames is it long. I don't know if you have some way to do it. I usually use DaVinci Resolve, and so I press the right mouse button here. I import media. I take my car night scene, and here on the right is written 1860. That is the number of frame of this clip. So to match it perfectly inside Blender, I'll want to tell Blender that this is the length in frames of our clip. So I go to Blender. Here, sorry, it's very small, frames. Okay, start frame 1, offset 0, auto refresh, cyclic, maybe we can use it. In the timeline I have to set the right number of frames, so 1860 here too. I will remove the principal BSDF because I don't need it. I don't want a realistic shader, I just want a shadeless shader. So I connect the color to the surface material output and going to the render tab and going to the camera view, clicking 0 on your keyboard, you will see the movie. And here if you press, oh, I forgot one thing. How many FPS is our video? Our video DaVinci 2997. Okay, so go to Blender and set in our settings that are here the right FPS. Okay, this is the same, so we don't have a problem. Going at the beginning and press start, we will see our scene, okay, as we were inside a real camera. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to match those two lights. I want to use the Blender skills in match moving and match those two lights. So I change this window into movie clip editor, that is here. Here I open my clip and then I do this prefetch. Okay, sorry, I had a crash. It's not a big deal. I thought this was because of the memory. Now the video is prefetched, so you can work on it. What we have to do is to add a tracker. So I'd like to track the light of this car, this moving car, because I want to put a lens flare on them. So this is the most important part of the video. I can start from frame 733. Start 733, okay, and I can stop at here 1331. 1331. Okay, this is the part of the clip I care. I can now add a tracker. Add here. This is hard to track because there's no big contrast in this light. It's a mass of white light. I'll try to make it bigger like this so that it can track this contrast between white and black. I think this could be an hard track. Okay, let's start tracking, then we will see. With this click I will go track the next frame. So we are making track frame by frame and the computer is not failing, everything is good. Then I want to edit this tracker. I don't know how to do it. Okay, it's there. Here, tracking settings, I will change this from lock, that is location, to lock scale, so the algorithm will look for a scale changing because this light is getting bigger when approaching to the camera. Maybe that this way is better for Blender to search. With this button it will go on until the next fail error. Oh, very good, is working, is working, is working, yes. Okay, here is an error. So we will help Blender in tracking by hand the next frame. I'm using the arrow keys to go right or left in the timeline, and you can see that he cannot understand what happened between this frame and this frame. So by hand I will press G on the keyboard and then I will press left click. Okay, this way I told the computer that the right tracking on this frame is in this point. That is the same of the previous frame. Now I will see if it's able to go on without my help. Yes, it seems that now it can go on. So I'll start all the frame again. The tracking is slow because this part is very big, so the computer has to search inside a big area all the pixels to understand the movement. But in okay, then we could track the other light. Is not completely necessary because we could use just one point, then another parented to this one, but let's try to add another marker.
we will add it here. Make it bigger, and then moving to log scale. Okay, and then we will go on with the tracking. Okay, okay, now we will try to solve and link empty to track. Let's try this. Okay, the other track too. Okay, then I go to the 3D view, and as you can see, now there are two markers, two empties moving on the light cars. Yes, this is what should happen. Now I go in the camera view, pressing 0 on the keyboard. Okay, now it's very easy, because all I have to do is to click on one marker, that is this track, click on the camera here. So we want to assign a lens flare to this track. Which kind of flare are we going to use? Let's try with the octagonal flare the first, and then click plus button. Okay, I think they are too much powerful. I will add the same on this track. So now we have two lens flares, too much powerful for me. I got to modify this one, select this one, so that I will copy the modifications I make to this one on the other one. I will reduce completely the glow, because we already have a glow there. That is the glow of the light that is already on the movie. Then I will reduce the emissions of the ghosts. Then I will copy these parameters to the other flare, because I have to check the result. I want to completely remove the dirt amount and copy on the other flare. Let's see what's happening now. Remove all the elements. Yes, this is working good. This is a quite good result. Our flares are matching the original flares, and then they're going to disappear. Okay, I'll have to stop some frame before 1300. Okay, I'd like to understand what we can do on these sun flares that I don't like very much. They are too visible. Maybe I have to change this flare. Sunbeam scale, this is this value. I will reduce the scale. I will turn up the number. I will reduce the scale again, this way. Okay, they are random, and I can adjust the emission. Let's try to make more yellow color. Is it possible? What happens? Oh, okay, there is also a streak here. We can reduce the scale and the emission. The emission is good, I like the streak. So copy on the other one. What's happening? Okay, maybe we can do another things to adjust much more what's happening right now. The yellow is not so good. I will reduce. Okay. The problem is that now the car is far from the camera and the lens flare has got a dimension. Then is very near to the camera and the lens flare has got the same dimension, and it looks like it's a little fake. So maybe we can keyframe a parameter that will change the dimension of the flare. I don't know if change the obstacle occlusion may be the right parameter that help us to make what we have to do. So let's try. The obstacle occlusion is the parameters that we change when the light go behind an object, and so we want the flare to disappear. We can keyframe it on the timeline. When it's set to 0, the flare is disappear. When it's set to 1, the flare is visible. I want now set it at the beginning of our animation to 0.5. Okay. And at the end of our animation I will set it to 1. These things I have to do on the other flare too. So 1 at the end of the movie and 0.5 at the beginning. 0.5. And then I have to press I on the keyboard. Sorry, I didn't tell you. To make it become yellow, that means that there is a keyframe. I have to press I in the correct frame. So now the flares are little in the distance and they become bigger when the car is near to the camera. I like this much more than before. Save our file, and then all you have to do right now is to render. So you go to render and render in this movie. You have the effect of this lens flare on your movie. I want to check one more thing. Yes, the FPS. This is the right number of FPS. Okay. It's very important to set the FPS to the correct value. You can check the value in DaVinci Resolve as in the way I show at the beginning of this video. There is this value. Each video may have some different values, so you have to check it. If you don't respect this value, maybe you have some troubles in the animation. Okay, this is what happened with this kind of flare. What if we change the flare? I'd like to change this flare into another flare. I will remove this and I will remove this, and I will add at the same time, because I can add more than one flare at the same time, clicking on track, and on the other track the camera, it's always the same. I will try to add a simple flare. Plus button. As before, it's very strong effect, so we'll have to reduce the is there any global emission is set to 0, so we have to reduce the single elements. The glow scale, I will reduce it. The glow emission, sorry, not the glow scale. Maybe also the scale is very big. I will reduce the sunbeam scale, the sunbeam emission, the ghost scale. Okay, this is the ghost. Let it big. We will reduce the emission. Okay, and then I want to copy this on the other flare. As before, I want to remove completely the dirt amount that now is not useful. Okay, what's happening right now? As you can see, the program remember the two keyframes that I put here. That is very important, because if you change a flare, because if you want another effect, you don't have to make keyframes again. So if you want to remove keyframe, you will have to do it by hand, clicking and deleting them. What's happening with this kind of flare? It's something. It is not the right flare. I can tell you it's not. Removing the glow as before, because there's no glow. Oh, sorry, there's no glow to add. Copy settings on the other one. This is a ghost trail. Yes. Copy. Okay. Yes. Could be a good effect. You can change. You can select the flare that you prefer for reaching the effect that you have in mind. I hope in the next future of this add-on we will add other flares. It will depend on how many of you will buy the add-on, because it's very time consuming to create new effects and new flares. Okay, let's try another one, and then I will leave you. The adaptive, we can try it. Yes, so remove this one. Yes, remove this one. Yes, put an adaptive flare on these two tracks, 1 and 2. Add. Okay, as before, I will remove the dirt amount, not completely, leave a little, very little. Then I will reduce the glow scale, or the glow emission, the glow scale. Okay, not complete, not completely. I try to do, okay, a streak, making horizontal big streak and very little effect here. Less light like this. Okay. The hoop scale, yes, is not a problem. Copy on the other one. Copy settings. Yes, good. Good effect. Maybe too much, but I like it. Okay, so remember, when you have finished and you like the result, you have to render here. Render animation. Before rendering, you have to set here in the output the kind of file that you want to save. Maybe you want to save directly a movie, maybe you want to save an image sequence. I personally prefer to save image sequence, because if Blender crash, I have all the rendered frame inside my directory. But you can do what you want, and the effect will be perfect. So thank you for watching. I hope you like this video and you like this add-on. Let me know in the description if there's something I can do to make it better. Thank you. Bye bye.